Hello there, it's Carrie Rhoades here. Welcome back to the Trinity Stamps YouTube channel. Today I am playing with some brand new products from the Greatest Friend release to create a card with a scene from a stage on it. I'm going to be using the Center Stage die set, the Once Upon a Mime stamp set, and the Curtain Call stencils. So here you can see the Once Upon a Mime 4x6 stamp set and coordinating die set. One of my favorite things about this stamp set is the teeny tiny images are on one stamp, and there's a coordinating die to die cut out those teeny tiny stamps that is one piece. And there are so many sentiments in this set. Here you can see I've colored them in the traditional colors of red and black and white, and there is a die for every single image in this set. That's fabulous. And then you can see them all die cut out right there. This is the Center Stage die set. There are a lot of tiny pieces in here, so I did end up sticking this on a magnet so I wouldn't lose any of them. And you can see all the bits and pieces here to create a slimline stage scene, or you could cut it down to be a different size if you like. There are also these head and hair pieces, and I'm going to show you those next. So to cut out the faces for my guests at this show, I'm going to use my Copic markers to color out some swatches that I can die cut them from, so I have varying colors of skin. I'm going to do 8 different colors. There are actually 7 seats in this die set, but I was just playing with the color and really liking the variety and the choices I had for creating my little people, my audience. So here is the piece that is the face. And you can turn this and you could have that little notch piece be a nose, or you don't have to use the nose at all. This piece creates a piece of hair that has a bun on it and a little strand of hair hanging down. So I'm going to glue all of mine on without using that nose piece, so you can see how I did it, but you can flip it around. Next, I'm going to add the little ear. So there's the tiniest dies you've ever seen in your whole life. And those die cut out little ears. Now you don't have to use these, but they do make a bit of a difference. So I'm going to die cut both of them, and then I'll stick those on and show you what they look like. And don't be frustrated if you lose them, the little die cuts. They're so tiny, but you just stick it right there on the edge of the hair and it is perfect. It really, really looks like the back of a head, and I added that little strand of hair there. Oh my gosh. Now, this is the packaging that will come with your die set, and it shows you the different ways you can mix and match these people and create them with their hair. So it's a kind of a nice guide to go by when you're like, oh, how do these go together again? Just refer back to that packaging. I did have to scoot some of mine around to get their faces right, but pretty easy to do once you kind of see how it's done. So I will create 7 different people, and I just wanted a variety of skin colors and a variety of hair, and I think that part is so much fun. Maybe you can create these to look like people you know. I tried to create them so that maybe they were the family of the kids on the stage, who I also colored with a variety of skin tones and hair colors. And then I thought, if your kids are on stage doing a performance, for sure there's going to be a grandma and grandpa in there, right? So there's all 7 of my people. I'm going to set all that aside and create a background to glue everything on. So I have a slimline panel that I am covering with Candied Apple Distress Oxide, and then I'm bringing in the Curtain Call stencil set. Now there's 2 masks in here and then 3 stencils. You layer these up with varying colors of ink or shades of ink to create a very three-dimensional looking curtain. Now I am just doing 2 of the stencils to create the background of the curtain for mine. So I'm using this one with the larger openings, and I'm coming in with the same exact color that I already used, that Candied Apple. And that's going to give me a darker line on top of my lighter red background. So this is going to be like the curtain that's off in the distance. And then once I have that done, you can see the little lines there. It's subtle. And then I'm going to bring in the second stencil, and you can see those lines are skinnier. So now I want to come in with a darker color. So I have Fired Brick, and I'm going to go right over what I already stenciled, creating a darker line that's going to give those wider lines a bit of a shadow off to the side, which gives them a bit of a 3D effect. Pretty cool. And look at the drapery across the top that you could do too with the stencil set. Super cool. So there is my background curtain, and I'm going to use this to glue my stage onto. So that's why it didn't matter that the bottom wasn't covered there. I'm going to put a piece of gray cardstock here. It's about 1 inch wide, and that's going to be like below the stage. So next I'm going to lay a curtain here and bring in my stage piece. There's 2 pieces to this. I cut the larger piece from a kind of oatmeal colored cardstock, and then the front of the stage is going to be in that darker brown, and it pieces together perfectly. Now the curtain's there so I kind of get a feel for where I want to glue the stage, and then I brought in one of the seats so I also didn't go too low when gluing it down. And then for good measure I brought in my T-square ruler to make sure my stage is straight. Then I can go ahead and glue on the curtains. So I'm doing the side curtains first, gluing those directly onto the card, and that's going to frame out the stage. Next, I'm going to add the top of the curtain with a piece of foam tape. So again, I am adding dimension there, creating the scene. And then these little gold pieces here, they're just like a deep yellow cardstock, are like the tie backs for the curtains. I love those tiny details in my card, so this die set is so awesome for that. There's even a detail piece for the very top of the curtain as well, and I thought those looked amazing in this goldish color. So this is the negative piece that I used to as a guide. So this is left over from die cutting out those seats, and now I can lay it on there so I can evenly space my seats, and it was such a good help once I got it where I wanted. Anyway, I just taped it in place, and then I'm popping up all of the seats there so that, again, it's creating that scene to be more realistic because I have dimension on certain items. And there are 7 seats all the way across. It would be fun too to do different rows of seats. That would be pretty cool. All right, next goes in my audience. So I'm going to pop those up with a foam square as well, and they just really look like they're looking up at the stage, and I love it because love is in the details. So it just finishes up this card so awesome. Now I am bringing in my Once Upon a Mime little kids and laying them out on the stage where I want them to go, and then figuring out which piece I want to go with which of the characters. So I thought the bowler hat looked so cute on the little girl. We have a bow tie, a balloon, a little beret, there's a little scarf, there's a flower. There's 2 different flowers. One's a rose, one you can have on the shirt, and then it looks like water squirting out of it. Then I added in Hello Friend of Mime. So I've now glued everything down once I figured out where I wanted it. Then I go back and glue everything in place. And I thought this little girl could be throwing a ball. So we'll glue that onto my finished card base so that it has a white border all the way around, and that just helps, I feel, draw the eye into the center. So my card base is actually a little bit bigger than 8.5 by 3.5. It's 8 3/4 by 3 3/4 when folded. So that finishes up my card. It was so fun to make a scene of a stage, and I know there are so many stamps that you probably have in your stash and that Trinity is selling in this new release that could go on the stage, like the circus stamps that we have and the little performers. I think it's such a great addition to my stash. I think that you're going to love it too. I thank you so much for stopping by the Trinity channel. If you want to check out any of the new release, I have it linked for you below, as well as the products I used. And if you're new to Trinity, feel free to subscribe. We have new videos almost every single day of the week. I'll be back again next Saturday with another inspirational video just for you. Happy stamping! Bye!